Under caution on pit road. The 48 team brings Jimmy Johnson in. He's the lucky dog. They go to work on the car.
Well, I've been talking about all day. That car was hitting the racetrack from the get-go. You can only do that so long. So what they're doing is they're raising the front of the car up so the chassis won't hit those first 8, 9, 10 laps of the run.
They were not able to get the jam nut on the right front loose. So I don't think they're able to raise the right front up, but they did get the left front up, look like 4 or 5 rounds.
What's that going to feel like?
Well, it's going to loosen the car up, looks like.
Yeah. I think they may have got a little bit. They had to go because if you see the field there coming around turn 4, they didn't want to get put a lap down again.
Jimmy Johnson is the last car in the lead lap in 32nd position. Matt Kenseth is the leader, followed by Tony Stewart, Ricky Rudd, David Stremme making his Nextel Cup debut, and Ryan Newman.
So we got some guys here experimenting on some strategies here.
Yep.
Some guys on 2 tires, some guys 4 tires. Some didn't stop.
This is when it gets fun. 80 to go, green flag.
And Jeff Gordon is in the, what, 9th, 10th position?
He scored in 9th on the restart.
2-tire stop for Jeff Gordon, trying to get some
look
track
at Tony
position.
Stewart getting Jeff Burton loose there. He wants in front of him right now.
Kenseth and Stewart did not stop under the caution. A variety of strategies in play here. 2-tire stops, 4-tire stops, and no stops.
Wow, that was close too. Ricky Rudd and Dave Stremme.
There's Stremme trying to take that position away, but here comes the 5 car of Kyle Busch. Makes it 3 wide on the apron. Boards, we got to, okay, good. Good.
Somebody had to give.
Somebody had to give, and it was Kyle Busch. Smart decision.
Usually when you say, uh-oh, it's too late.
Newman in the wall.
Ryan Newman in the 12 car. You can see the damage on the right front.
Now he's got a tire rub.
I got a tire rub coming in this lap.
Currently 5th in the championship standings.
For you guys right side.
Well, he looked like he just lost the air on the whole car coming out of turn 2, and it just flew up the racetrack into the wall.
And that's exactly, well, Randy LaJoy was talking to Weber and I on Friday, and that's what he said. That, look, he's trying to get to the pit. Some guys are trying to pass Ryan Newman. This is not going to work. He can't get down.
And Michael Waltrip is in trouble here. Able to squeeze down underneath Newman. He's not going to get there.
He'll get down now.
Yeah. And then you just got to stay there if you can.
Hopefully the tire doesn't blow before it gets back around the pits.
That's what the guys behind him should be
Bring it in.
Oh, get back down there. You don't want to go.
Start waving.
You're right. Right front is rubbing.
Doesn't look like he's coming in this time either. There he goes.
Connor, coming to you guys.
Oh, he missed
No,
it.
he missed
I was
it.
going to say, he's going awfully fast if he's going to make pit road.
And this will cost him even more time on the track.
He tried to make the commitment, but you could tell when he got off on that apron, he was going way too fast.
Coming in this lap.
He's going to try to. Oh, that is funny. I'm going to try, he said.
Now he's got her shut down.
I mean, the whole process is not funny, but
Frustrating for them, that's for sure.
and he's got to go at 55 miles per hour.
Guys, 4 tires, 4 tires.
Dave, you been watching this?
Yep, and what he needed today was another consistent day. In the last 8 races, he only had 2 finishes outside the top 15, and only 1 failure to finish. Came in here 6th in the championship. This is not the consistency they were looking for. They will change all 4 just to make sure they've got everything taken care of and get a balance in this car that they want. So Ryan waits as he goes a lap down. He's got, hey, red wheels. We saw those last year at Charlotte. I believe he would have borrowed those from a teammate.
I imagine those wheels came from the 77. Go ahead, Wally.
I was just going to take a look at it here, see what happens, because a lot of times you get in traffic getting off the corner, you just lose the air on the front of the car, and it just slides up the racetrack.
Boy, Gordon and Biffle, and that was Joe Nemechek, I think, around him.
On board with Ryan Newman.
Still there,
make the pit stop coming off turn 4. And Wally, you're right. He's running about 30 miles per hour too fast. Could not make the turn.
You see the cones. That's where he needed to be.
And Randy LaJoie and I was talking to Weber on Friday, and he said somebody's going to do that. They're going to come off the corner on the gas and just run into the wall.
Just, yeah, lose the air. Especially when you have two cars in front of you side by side. Then you have no air on the front of your car.
Newman 33rd, 2 laps down.
You need that air to push these cars into the racetrack. That's why track position is so important. That's why being out front is so important, because you're stealing all the air and it's pushing your car into the racetrack.
So when you get your car out front, it's a whole different feel than when you're back in traffic.
Absolutely. You don't have that pushing your front of your car down, so actually the front of the car is light. The steering wheel's light because it feels like somebody's lifting the front of the car off the racetrack.
Kyle Busch running 4th.
Greg Biffle's 16 car had stopped, changed 4 tires, has pulled back up on the back of Kyle Busch, but all of a sudden he's not gaining.
And Ricky Rudd is in that 21 car, running 3rd, using some pit strategy to get up there. But he used the first half of this race to march his way through the field. Let's check on the 5, Alan.
Well, I just talked to his crew chief, Alan Gustafson, Bill, and asked him why he stopped and just took right side tires there. He said, we can't pass the 17 on equal footing. I'm trying to do something different than they do to see if we can get some kind of an advantage and win this race.
Well, that's good. He's trying to win.
Made a little ground up there on Ricky Rudd, that corner.
Matt, how about an update on the 21?
Ricky Rudd is having a great day. Now, he, like a lot of other drivers, stayed out on that last run. It says the car is just sticking like you would not believe. And by the way, the 44, Terry Labonte, pulling his car finally back in the garage. His day is done. His job, scuffing tires for his Hendrick teammates and a few other people here on pit road.
Terry Labonte for hire today, huh?
I think that's good strategy. I mean, he was not going to win the race. He had a problem, but his car could run.
Yeah. Terry's old ride, the 5, moving forward around Rudd. Look at that 16 car, Biffle.
That was close.
Biffle looking under the 21 of Rudd.
Takes the spot, fourth place.
So Biffle to 4th. He trails Johnson in the championship standings. Matt Kenseth leads the race. Lots of stuff happening at Chicagoland with 67 to go.
NASCAR Nextel Cup Series racing from Chicagoland Speedway is brought to you by Allstate, proud sponsor of the Allstate 400 at the Brickyard. By Visa, proud sponsor of NASCAR. By Miller, there's good enough and there's better than it has to be. Miller, good call. And by new Mobil 1 Extended Performance, official motor oil of NASCAR.
207 laps complete in the USG Sheetrock 400. Here's our Team Tylenol safety fact. In July 2003, NASCAR announced a fire extinguishing cylinder solely dedicated to the fuel cell area to be used in their top 3 series. The fire suppression system was in addition to the one that is currently found in the driver cockpit. NASCAR has also enhanced its requirements and specifications for the current onboard driver protection system, as well as the fuel cell vent area.
And the best part about, remember Bobby Labonte's crash here? The driver doesn't have to set off this. The heat sets it off.
Well, what were you looking for, Benny?
Bobby Labonte gets tagged by the 10 car and he backs it in the fence. And the car just, you're going to see a fire in a minute, folks. Big time fire.
That's big time fire.
And now the suppressor is inside the trunk and it automatically goes off with heat.
There's a heat sensor in there that activates it. Bobby was okay after that, but that was a frightening moment. Matt Kenseth up front. Let's take you through the field here at Chicagoland and start with Allen.
Matt Kenseth has been out in front for most of this race, especially since lap 66, Bill. He did not pit under that last caution. His crew chief, Robbie Reiser, said, we're good where we are. We need to pit one more time in this race anyway. Matt?
Stewart and Zipadelli debated about whether to pit or stay out when we had that caution just past lap 180. They stayed out. Lap times not too bad right now. Running in second. Al?
Well, Kyle Busch has certainly had an outstanding race. Started 24th. He's running third. They took the 2 tires on that caution a minute ago. He's gained track position since then. Now they're talking about trying to stay out and outlast some of these guys in front of them to gain those 5 championship points and lead a lap, Marty.
Alan, Greg Biffle and his team have learned a little lesson here. They're the first of the 4-tire parade from that last pit stop, and they learned track position is still king. The 4 tires are helping. Same time as the lap leaders, just not as good.
Ricky Rudd, 23 career Nextel Cup Series wins, but he hasn't won since 2002 at the Infineon Raceway. Now, Rudd says the car is sticking well, running in the top 5, trying to become the 18th different driver to win in a car prepared by the legendary Wood Brothers. Meanwhile, Rusty Wallace, he took on 2 tires in the last stop. Rudd running in 5th, while the 2 trying to capitalize on Elliott Sadler's misfortune today. He ended the day only 5 points out of 4th, Alan.
Well, Kevin Harvick talked with me this morning in his transporter before the race about trying to finish with the car that they have, not taking a 5th place car and finishing 8th with it, but also not taking an 8th place car and finishing 12th, 14th with it. You get the point. Kevin right now not saying much on the radio. They took 4 tires on that last caution. He's trying to pick his way back up into the top 2 or 3. Dale Earnhardt Jr., well, they've just had a solid run from 25th up into the top 10. Jr. on that last run said that the car was getting better and better as the day went on. His crew chief Steve Neal just told me they could use a long green flag run to pass people one at a time instead of having the cars all in a big traffic jam. Matt?
Very solid Nextel Cup debut for David Stremme, running 9th. Team kept him out on the racetrack for track position. They only have about 10 more laps on their tires than the guys who pitted. And he's having a very solid day, Marty.
Brian Vickers trying to pass David Stremme. Vickers currently in the 10th position, Matt, taking the low line to take the 9th position now. He came on the radio, said the car is loose, but a little bit better. Man, I am stuck in traffic, and it is a big, big difference back here, Dave.
2 stops ago, Casey Mears had an adjustment he needed on his car, and the team went really far, so it went the wrong way, or it went too far in one direction. So they came back another way. He's picked up 7 spots since the last restart. Matt?
Mark Martin, who had been running in the top 10, we've got a crash.
Michael Waltrip.
Stay up top if you can. Stay right there for me. All right, go to the bottom. Go to the bottom.
It's just a matter of when. And
All right, guys,
you just hope it's not you.
That's what you were saying.
Yeah.
When's the next one going to happen, and who's it going to be?
Man, oh man.
Marty?
Yeah, guys, he had been talking about a vibration for a good 15 to 20 laps, and the last 2 right rear tires that came off the 15 car had been down on air pressure. They knew they had a problem. They couldn't figure it out. Obviously, another tire gone. This time it bites the 15 team.
Just don't understand that. These guys know what's going on today. If they feel something like that, I just don't understand why you would stay out there. Especially today. I mean, if it was, an isolated situation, that's one thing, but...
All right. You want to drive a Nextel Cup car in Chicago at about 190 miles an hour? Hang on.
Wow.
Man, oh man.
That's a shot right there.
Folks, I can't tell you
Stay up top if you
how
can.
hard that is.
Wow. Michael to the garage. Kevin LePage will be the lucky dog. Jeff Gordon has fallen to 29th after restarting 9th.
So that 2-tire stop did not work for Jeff's car.
Jimmy Johnson has worked his way up to 20th. Matt.
Stewart, who stayed out on the last round of pit stops, pits. He says the car a little too tight entering turn 3. Other than that, the car near perfect. Going to make an air pressure adjustment. Marty?
Matt, Greg Biffle, bottom of your screen, your new championship leader because of the problems with the 48. Talked about loosening up his car. Said, I don't want to have any tire problems. Leave it alone. 4 tires. No changes, Alan.
Well, Matt Kenseth's crew has held the lead on every stop they've had today when they've come in first. Trying to do that just as he came to the stop in the pit box, the crew chief Robbie Reiser said, let's get him. Dave?
Championship leader Jimmy Johnson will go up on the track bar. That will make his car just a little bit looser. He said not real stable as well. That's not good news, but they'll try to fix it for him. Jimmy Johnson, left side tires on and off pit road.
It's busy down there.
Wow. It is.
Yes, it is. 51 laps to go at the Chicagoland Speedway in Joliet, Illinois. You're watching NASCAR on NBC.